Just one day after Michigan's governor declared a state of emergency because of contaminated drinking water in the city of Flint, and the U.S. Attorney's Office has confirmed it is investigating the high levels of lead that plagued Flint's water supply for at least a year, the mayor is calling on the federal government to step in.
We also are looking at our needs, and we're putting cost to that. And because we know that that cost is so astronomical, that's why we were asking for federal assistance as well. We knew Flint didn't have the financial ability to deal with this. I don't believe the state has the ability to deal with all of this financially, and we do need federal assistance.
Michigan Governor Rick Snyder apologized today for the state's role in the situation, and he acknowledged that he has a long way to go to regain the public's trust.
You have to earn trust, and so that's where this will be a process by showing the steps we're taking to be proactive, to have people on the ground working in collaboration and partnership with city officials and the people of Flint. We want to work closely together to earn the trust.
My colleague Rachel Maddow has been following this story very closely, in fact, from the very beginning.
It was February. The EPA telling the state of Michigan, telling the Rick Snyder administration, high levels of lead are being reported or being found in Flint. The water is corrosive. It is leaching lead out of the pipes there. That was the state being told what was wrong by the EPA last February. And still, the Snyder administration told the people of Flint to relax, keep drinking the water. There was the email in September from another state health official to 3 of his state colleagues. Quote, sounds like there might be more to this than what we learned previously. Yikes. That's literally written in the email, the word yikes.
And NBC News has just learned that 4 families filed a lawsuit against the state of Michigan and the city of Flint just this past November, claiming injuries caused by the drinking water there. Governor Snyder moved the city of Flint to Detroit's water supply back in October. But Flint's mayor says concerns over lead problems persist, leaving the population without safe drinking water. Joining me now from Flint, Michigan, is NBC's John Yang. So, John, first of all, fill me in on the backstory here. I mean, I understand the city of Flint decided to get off the Detroit water supply as a money-saving measure. I believe it's a little over a year ago, correct?
It's actually not the city of Flint. It was the emergency manager. There was the city has been in receivership to the state for a number of years. It's since about 2011. It's had a series of state-appointed emergency managers, emergency financial managers, who have a lot of the powers of the mayor, of the elected officials here. It was that emergency manager who decided that buying to save money by not stop buying water from Detroit. They've been doing that. They had been doing that for about 50 years. Instead, they decided to take the water from the Flint River. They were building the water authority here was building or is building a pipeline out to Lake Huron, but it's taking a little while. They thought as an interim, a stopgap measure, they could take the water from the Flint River. But it turns out that that water is corrosive. It's corroding the pipes. It's corroding the lead welds in the pipes and the lead service lines leading to houses. And that's led to high levels of lead in the drinking water. The local medical center here did a study. It found that the proportion of children with high lead levels in their bloodstreams doubled since they started taking water from the Flint River, and in some areas tripled.
Was there no process in place to test this water before they made the switch? Is there? I mean, it's mind-boggling, to be honest.
Well, I mean, it's interesting. You know, Governor Snyder is really sort of in the crosshairs on this. He has his own task force laid the blame, much of the blame for this, on the Michigan Department of Environmental Quality. Said that they did not pay enough attention to these reports, to the complaints about the water, the reports that were coming in about the high lead levels in the water. He is saying he's trying to focus the attention on moving forward. Today he met with Karen Weaver, the mayor of Flint, who was elected just this November. The situation with the water played a big role in her campaign. She threw him a little bit of a lifeline. She's standing with him. She says that it agrees that it is time to look forward, but she's also getting some of her powers back, some of the powers back from the emergency manager.
All right, John Yang in Flint Forest. John, thanks very much. Now I want to turn to Academy Award documentary filmmaker and Flint native, probably the most famous Flint native living today, Michael Moore. And he's been saying that the governor should be arrested for his actions. Mr. Moore, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me, Chuck. Let me just clarify, when they say that we've been drinking Detroit water for 50 years, since I was a child, Detroit gets their water from Lake Huron. This is a glacial lake, very clean water that we've been drinking since I was a child. Detroit pays for it, but it comes from Lake Huron. That's the water we were drinking until the governor of Michigan overruled and took over the city of Flint, fired the people that were elected by the citizens of Flint to run their city, and then installed cronies of his to run the city and to find ways to cut back and save money. And so one of their big ideas was, let's cut off the clean drinking water. That's expensive. And let's just suck water out of the Flint River here that's been going through town and has got 100 years of poisonous toxins in it.
Do you believe, though, that they knew in advance these had poison? I mean, you don't believe that they intentionally wanted to poison Flint?
Yes.
I mean,
I believe, yes. I don't believe that they sat down at a meeting and said, let's poison everyone who's left in Flint. But it's just like a drunk driver gets behind the wheel of a car and runs over a 4-year-old on the sidewalk. He didn't intend to kill the 4-year-old, but the reckless driving has consequences. These reckless actions, they knew almost a year ago that the corrosive water was doing from the Flint River. It was tearing the lead off the aging pipes underground and putting lead from those pipes into the water. The water from the Flint River was already toxic, and anybody knew that. I mean, you don't need a study to know you don't drink from the Flint River. You don't drink from the river running through, past those oil and gas depots in New Jersey. So it really was just absolute insanity. The people of Flint begged to have their clean drinking water back. The governor refused to listen. He mocked the critics. He mocked the doctors who were doing the studies at the local hospital, ridiculed them, wouldn't listen to anybody, and now we know that the majority, if not all, of the children in Flint have lead, permanent brain damage in their bodies. You can't get this out. They're ruined for life, these children. And the fact that he has behaved so recklessly, yes.
How much more can Flint take?
Go ahead.
No, how much more can Flint take? I'm sitting here going, why? If I lived in Flint right now, I think, and I'm sure many people, and we had some stories last night on Nightly News, they don't even know how they could sell their house. Who would want to come when worried that if you come, you drink poison drinking water? Obviously, you became famous by noting what happened to Flint, Michigan. You know, the manufacturing crisis that we talk about today, ground zero was Flint, Michigan. How much more can Flint take?
Right. Well, it can't take anything else. This was the final blow. I mean, first of all, General Motors closed the majority of the factories, threw 70,000 people out of work. There's only 3,000 or 4,000 left there now in the GM factory. Then Wall Street and the banks took their licks out on Flint. And now, the population has gone from almost 200,000 to 100,000. And I guess the people who couldn't get out, they get this, poisoned water. I mean, it's a testimony to the people in Flint that there is not an uprising going on right now, and I certainly don't want to see anything that would cause any violence, but I think the people of Flint are ready to come out of their homes right now and go down there. They want their government back. They want their mayor back. They voted for these people, and they want this governor arrested. They want this governor prosecuted, and thank God the Obama administration now has got the U.S. District Attorney in Flint investigating what's going on, investigating the governor, and our hope is that this governor will be prosecuted for the reckless behavior and for knowing for a full year that this was toxic water that the people of Flint, and especially the children, were drinking. It's just, Chuck, I mean, it's just, I don't know what to say anymore.
I take it the apologies, I take it his apologies not enough for you.
It's the apology of a drunk driver who's just killed a 4-year-old on the sidewalk. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see her. I didn't know. I didn't know it was toxic. Geez, so sorry. No, that's not the way our criminal justice system works. The buck stops with him. His whole administration, including Rachel's done such a great job on her show. with this story. NBC in general, thank God. Thanks for not forgetting us in Flint, for covering this story. The facts are all there, and I'm not worried at all that something is going to happen. But right now, we got to fix the water problem. We need FEMA and we need President Obama to come in there, spend whatever money, Army Corps of Engineers. Let's get this aging pipe system fixed so it's not leaching lead into the water. There's 102,000 people in Flint tonight who can't drink water, can't cook with water, can't bathe with water. And this has been going on now for well over a year. And I just, you know, we need the complete media attention on this, and everybody needs, again, to come out of their homes and demand that this happen. But we need the federal government to step in right now.
Well, I know the mayor asked for it, and we're going to be watching, and I know we're going to be asking the government questions and seeing how much they're going to respond. Michael Moore, thanks for taking a few minutes to join me tonight.
Thank you. Thanks for not forgetting us.
You got it,
Thank you very much.
Okay. Still ahead. Calls for Mayor Rahm Emanuel's resignation have been growing for months.
I'm the leading state sponsor of terrorism.